It's a Saturday morning. Sarah is sitting at her kitchen table, coffee in hand, scrolling through her phone. Everything is fine. Her phone is fast, the screen is crisp, her photos look great. She is completely satisfied. Then her friend texts her a link. It's the new iPhone announcement. She watches the keynote. 45 minutes later, she puts her phone down and looks at it differently. It feels heavier somehow, slower. The camera suddenly looks like it belongs in a museum. She can't explain it. Nothing changed. The phone in her hand is identical to the phone she loved 30 minutes ago. But something shifted. And by Tuesday, she's standing in line at the Apple Store, credit card in hand, about to spend $1,200 on a device that does almost exactly what the one in her pocket already does. How did that happen? And more importantly, how much is that moment costing her over a lifetime? Welcome to WealthSimplify, where we make money simple enough for anyone to understand. Stick around and watch this whole video, because if you skip even one part, you will miss something important. While you are here, consider subscribing and giving this video a like. It tells the YouTube algorithm that you are serious about improving your money, and YouTube will start showing you more relevant content like this video that actually helps you succeed. You found this video for a reason, so make it count. Now let's go back to Sarah, because Sarah is not irresponsible. She is not reckless with money. She has a budget. She tracks her spending. She meal preps on Sundays and brings lunch to work. She thinks of herself as pretty financially aware. But every 2 years, like clockwork, she upgrades her phone. Every 3 years, a new laptop. Every couple of years, new earbuds, a new tablet, a new smartwatch. She doesn't think of it as a spending problem because each individual purchase seems justified. It's just one thing. It's just an upgrade. It's just keeping up. Now, meet Marcus. Marcus works in the same office as Sarah. Similar salary, similar lifestyle. But Marcus has a slightly different relationship with his technology. He is not cheap. He is not a minimalist. He just has a rule. He doesn't replace something until it actually stops working. Same income, same city, same cost of living. In 30 years, those two philosophies will produce a gap in wealth you are not going to believe. We'll get to the exact number. Stay with me. First, let's talk about what is actually happening inside Sarah's brain every September. The tech industry does not make money by selling you a great product once. Think about that for a second. If your phone lasted 10 years and worked perfectly the whole time, Apple, Samsung, Google, they would be in serious trouble. Their entire business model depends on you replacing something that still works with something that works slightly differently. So they don't need to make your old device worse. They just need to make you feel like it's worse. And they are extraordinarily good at this. Every year, in a carefully produced event with dramatic lighting and cinematic music, they show you a comparison. Your camera versus the new camera. Your processor versus the new processor. Your screen versus the new screen. Every slide is designed to do one thing: make what you currently own feel like a step behind. Your phone didn't change. Your perception of your phone changed. That is the product, not the new device, the dissatisfaction with the old one. And here is where it gets even more calculated. It's not just the keynote. It's the operating system updates that arrive every fall, loading your 2-year-old device with features designed for hardware that is twice as powerful. Suddenly, your phone lags a little. The battery drains a little faster. Apps take a half-second longer to open. You didn't imagine it, but you also didn't break your phone. They updated it into frustration, and the only solution they offer you is buying what they just announced. In 2017, Apple was actually caught throttling the performance of older iPhones and had to pay a $500 million settlement. $500 million. To settle the lawsuit that confirmed what people had suspected for years, that their phones were being slowed down right around the time new models came out. Listen that again. And Sarah, sitting at her kitchen table on a Saturday morning, has no idea any of this is happening to her. Now let's talk about what this costs, because this is the part that changes people. The average American replaces their smartphone every 2.5 to 3 years. The average flagship phone now costs over $850. When you spread that across a lifetime of about 40 adult years, you are spending somewhere around $12,000 on smartphones alone. But a phone is just the start. Laptops, tablets, earbuds, smartwatches, smart home speakers, streaming sticks, accessories, chargers, cases, warranties. The average American household spends roughly $1,700 a year on consumer electronics. Over 40 years, that is $68,000. $68,000 on gadgets, most of which were working fine when they got replaced. Now here's where I need you to really sit with this number. If instead of spending that extra money on unnecessary upgrades, you invested just $1,900 a year, that's the difference between an aggressive upgrade cycle and a sensible one. At a modest 8% annual return over 30 years, you would accumulate $214,000. $214,000. Not from some complex investment strategy, not from sacrifice or suffering, just from keeping your phone for 4 years instead of 2. Keeping your laptop for 6 years instead of 3. That's it. That is the entire strategy. Sarah and Marcus, same income, same life. Except Marcus understands this math and Sarah doesn't. Not yet. But here's what makes the upgrade illusion so hard to escape. It doesn't feel like a financial decision. It feels like a lifestyle decision. It feels like staying current, like being a person who appreciates quality, like treating yourself to something you worked hard for. And the tech companies know this. That's why the marketing doesn't talk about specs anymore. It talks about creativity. It talks about connecting with the people you love. It talks about capturing memories that matter. They're not selling you a camera. They're selling you the idea that your current camera isn't capturing your life the way it deserves to be captured. It's emotional, it's personal, and it works. Sarah doesn't think she's being manipulated. She thinks she's treating herself. She thinks she's staying sharp, keeping up, making a smart investment in a tool she uses every day. Meanwhile, a study from Wayne State University found that when people were given real-world tasks to complete on smartphones across different generations, they could not reliably tell which phone was newer. In actual daily use, browsing the internet, sending texts, taking photos, watching videos, the phones felt the same. The differences only showed up in artificial benchmark tests specifically designed to highlight the gap. That means Sarah is spending $1,200 on something she cannot feel in daily life. Let that land. Now let's talk about the alternative nobody advertises, because this is important. When Marcus does eventually need to upgrade, he doesn't go to the Apple Store on launch day. He waits 6 months. He buys a certified refurbished device from 2 generations ago. Here's the math on that decision. A refurbished iPhone 14 Pro costs around $450. A new iPhone 17 Pro costs $1,299. In real daily use, they are functionally almost identical for the tasks 95% of people actually do. Texts, emails, photos, social media, maps, streaming. The only meaningful difference is the number on the box and the size of the bill. The refurbished market is flooded with excellent devices, because the upgrade illusion convinced their original owners to trade them in the moment something shinier appeared. Marcus is buying that perfectly good technology at half price, while Sarah is subsidizing it by handing hers in. So what actually breaks the cycle? Step 1 is deceptively simple. Define what you actually use your phone for. Not what you could theoretically use it for if you were a professional photographer or a video game developer. What you actually do every single day. Most people text, email, scroll social media, take photos of their kids, their food, their dog, navigate to places, stream shows at the gym. If that is your use case, a 3-year-old flagship does all of that with zero compromise. Zero. Step 2 is maintaining what you have. A phone that feels slow is often a phone that needs a battery replacement, not a replacement phone. A battery replacement costs somewhere between $50 and $100 and can add 2 years of life to a device you are about to throw away. That is the most cost-effective upgrade you will never see advertised, because nobody profits from you keeping what you have. Step 3 is changing the trigger for upgrading. Right now, for most people, the trigger is the September announcement. The new device exists, therefore the old device is not enough. But the rational trigger is completely different. The rational trigger is, my device can no longer run the software I need, or my battery cannot hold a charge even after replacement, or something is physically broken. That's when you upgrade, not when a company tells you something better exists. Here is the big picture truth that wraps all of this together. You are not behind because your phone is 2 years old. You are being told you're behind by an industry that cannot survive if you feel satisfied with what you have. The dissatisfaction is the product. The anxiety about being left behind is the mechanism. And the keynote, the influencer review, the friend's Instagram post showing off their new unboxing, all of it is infrastructure built to keep that anxiety alive every single year on schedule. Your 3-year-old phone works. Your 4-year-old laptop works. The experience you have on those devices is not meaningfully inferior to the experience you would have on their replacements. What is inferior is the story you have been sold about them. Change the story. Keep what works, invest the difference, and the next time September rolls around and the world tells you that what you have is suddenly not enough, remember Sarah on that Saturday morning, completely satisfied, coffee in hand, before someone sent her a link. She was fine. She just didn't know it yet. Now you do. If this video made you think twice about your next upgrade, hit that like button and comment your thoughts about it. We break down the financial traps hiding in plain sight and show you exactly how to avoid them. Share this with someone who watches product announcements and suddenly hates their phone. They need to see this. I will see you in the next one.